The scene was familiar, the stage was set. Former President Donald Trump stood before a sea of supporters in Des Moines, Iowa. The date was September 24, 2025. The air was thick with anticipation. He was in the middle of a lengthy, winding speech. He was talking about trade deals. He was criticizing the current administration's economic policies. The crowd was cheering at all the expected moments. Everything seemed to be following the usual script. But then, something shifted. Something completely unexpected happened. It was a moment that would soon be replayed on every news network across the country and around the globe. Suddenly, he stopped, mid-sentence. The teleprompter continued to scroll, but Donald Trump was no longer reading from it. He stared out into the audience, but his gaze seemed to go right through them, focused on something far away. The cheering from his supporters slowly died down, replaced by a confused and uncertain murmur. You could see the shift in his posture. His shoulders tensed, his typically animated expression hardened into a grim, focused stare. For a full 10 seconds, which feels like an eternity on live television, there was only silence from the podium. A heavy, charged silence that made everyone watching lean in, wondering what could possibly come next. The cameras zoomed in, capturing the intensity in his eyes. What was he thinking? Breaking the silence, Trump leaned into the microphone. His voice was low, deliberate, and unmistakably menacing. "I'm getting word," he began, "that certain individuals, and they know who they are trying to interfere. Again." He then looked directly into the main camera, as if speaking to someone personally through the screen. "Let me be very clear," he said, his voice dropping further. "If you come after me..." This type of confrontational rhetoric is, of course, not new for Donald Trump. It has been a hallmark of his political career from the very beginning. Throughout his presidency, and in the years since, he has consistently used his speeches and rallies to lash out at his perceived enemies. He has called for the jailing of political rivals. He attacked judges overseeing his cases. He vilified members of the press. His language has often been seen as an incitement, a way to energize his base by creating a sense of shared grievance and persecution. This is a strategy that has proven to be incredibly effective for him, building a powerful bond with his supporters who feel they too are under attack. We've seen similar moments before. Think back to his rallies in 2016 where chants of "lock her up" directed at Hillary Clinton became a staple, or his repeated attacks on special counsel Robert Mueller and the investigators in the Russia probe, whom he labeled angry Democrats and thugs. The threat in Iowa was the latest and perhaps most blatant chapter in this long-running saga. The reaction to Trump's televised threat was as swift as it was predictable, and it fell along sharply partisan lines. For his supporters who were in the arena and those watching from home, it was a moment of strength. Social media platforms popular with the right wing lit up with messages of praise. They saw a leader who was unafraid to fight back against what they genuinely believe is a politically motivated persecution. To them, his words were not a threat against the justice system but a promise to defend their movement from a corrupt establishment. On the side, critics and a wide range of political commentators were aghast. The condemnation was immediate and severe. Democratic leaders called the statement an attack on the rule of law and an incitement to violence. Legal analysts on various news networks immediately began debating the legal ramifications. Could this statement itself be used as evidence of obstructive intent in the ongoing investigations? The consensus among many legal experts was a resounding yes. It also puts immense pressure on the Department of Justice. The path ahead looks even more turbulent.